Charlie Musonda not coming on at all, even though he did make the bench, suggests to me that he will go out on loan in the next few days, but we'll obviously have to wait and see if that actually happens. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my review of the Chelsea versus Newcastle game in the 4th round of the FA Cup, and we won the game 3-0, so I obviously have to be really happy with that. I mean, the performance wasn't great, it was a decent performance, but the result is very good. But getting straight into it and starting off with the lineup, which I was very surprised by. It was a 3-4-3, Willy Caballero in goal with Thibaut Courtois missing again with his ankle injury, Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen and Gary Cahill as the 3 centre-backs, David Zappacosta and Marcos Alonso as the 2 wing-backs, Danny Drinkwater next to N'Golo Kante as the 2 central midfielders, Eden Hazard and Pedro starting as the 2 wingers / 2 wide number 10s, and Michy Batshuayi starting up front. David Luiz picked up a knock in training on his ankle, which is why he wasn't involved. But it was a much stronger lineup than I expected, to be honest, and it was different to what I was hoping for, especially starting Alonso. Like, you have to feel sorry for the guy almost, with the amount of games he has to play, because the club's incapable of getting deals done, and Conte refusing to play / start, and the real youngsters, except Ampadu. I can understand why he picked a strong team, because the FA Cup now seems to be the only trophy we stand at least a somewhat realistic chance of winning, and also with a weakened side we did struggle a lot against Norwich in both legs. But still, I would have preferred if the likes of Ampadu, Sterling, Musonda, possibly Hudson-Odoi would have started the game. Also, I was quite surprised not to see Barkley start after I thought in the press conference Conte clearly hinted at that, but obviously that's what it was. And really the first 20 minutes were very boring and just very quiet. No real chances for either side, a lot of scraps in midfield with little fouls and kicks, but no team managing to take control of the game really. But then a horror mistake by Zappacosta in the 21st minute, passing it past Christensen directly to the Newcastle attacker at the edge of our box, but thankfully he couldn't capitalise, and obviously they didn't even create a proper chance from it. Then in the 25th minute, first real chance of the game, and it fell to Newcastle when Shelvey connected with a cross, but Caballero made a good save to keep it out of his bottom right corner. We had a few moments of great work by Zappacosta on the right hand side and then putting in great crosses, but either the attackers in the box just missed the ball but just a little bit, or Newcastle managed to clear the crosses. And then in the 31st minute, Michy Batshuayi made it 1-0, a very well played out goal. Unbelievable long ball by Pedro from inside our own half to Eden Hazard, who made a great run, controlled it, laid it back to Alonso, who passed it first time to Batshuayi. Alonso just about got to the ball ahead of his man. Michy, who was completely on his own just outside the 6-yard box, obviously just had to tap it in. And that was only our first effort of the game, but obviously, you know, we made it count. This time we're actually clinical. In the 40th minute, Rudiger got very close with a great effort from distance. He turned the Newcastle defender after switch of play to obviously the German defender Rudiger, took it on his left foot, on his weaker left foot, and put his curling shot just wide of the far post. In the 43rd minute, another chance for Shelvey and a good save by Caballero after ridiculous play by basically half of our defensive team. Cahill passed it to Caballero, who then gave it to Christensen, who was still inside the box, who gave it to Drinkwater, who was tackled as soon as he controlled the ball, and Newcastle managed to get their shots away, but like I said, Caballero saved it, thankfully. I get passing out from the back, you know, we do that a lot, but don't pass it to someone that has a man on him like 2-3 yards away from him. You can't do that. Don't put him under that kind of pressure, Christensen. Please don't do that. Like, of course, Drinkwater could have passed the first time and it would have been alright, but if he doesn't get the shout of his man, you know, he can't be focusing on everybody at the same time. So, you know, either give him a shout or just don't pass it to him and kick it long, because that was very, very risky. But in the 44th minute, Michy Batshuayi with his second goal of the day made it 2-0. Great tackle by Pedro in centre of midfield. 1-2 with Batshuayi. Then to Eden Hazard, took it forward and then played a very good pass to Michy, who took it on well. Had a shot from inside the box. His shot actually got blocked by a sliding defender, but the block made the ball bounce over the keeper and dropped back down just before the bar really, and just bounced into the goal. Not sure if his shot would have gone in anyway or if the keeper would have saved that, but it sure looked like a very good effort. And, you know, fair play to Michy Batshuayi there. He was involved in the play, played a good back heel back to Pedro in for that 1-2, and then didn't just stop and stare, but made a good run for Eden Hazard to pass it to, so, you know, very well done there. Then in the 47th minute, still in the first half, another good save by Caballero after another shot by Shelvey from outside the box this time, which took a slight deflection of Rudiger's heel as well. Actually, the Argentinian made another great save from the following corner as well, when the ball was basically bouncing through the box. Somehow, Newcastle got a shot away by Caballero, like I said, with another good save. And as I said before, I'm very, very happy with him as our backup keeper. That was then half-time at 2-0, and to be honest, we weren't very good in the first half, especially until we got the first goal. Poor passing from almost every player, static, lethargic, slow, basically everything you don't want. But the goal was very good with good passing, which we didn't show once during the game, before we scored the goal. Compared to the first 20 minutes or so, the end of the first half was very, very eventful. With us getting the second, obviously, but Newcastle, like I said, forcing a fair few good saves by Caballero, but we still didn't play particularly well at all. Zappacosta was probably our best player in that half. He was for sure the best player we had until we scored, even though he made that almost costly mistake earlier on. Hazard was alright, involved in both goals, but a bit slow and static at times. Same for Batshuayi, he did what he does. Not play particularly well and not being involved in play a lot, but then randomly just pops up with 2 goals, except for the second goal. He was involved in that, in the build-up for that as well, and he did well. But at the end of the day, goals are what matters most in football, and he got 2, so I can't really complain. I'd rather my striker score 2 goals, and I never see him at any other time, than be involved and we finish the game 0-0, to be honest. So, I really can't complain. But the best thing about the first half really was that we were finally clinical. We had 2 shots on target, Newcastle at 5, yeah, we were 2-0 up. If we did that every game, we'd be where City are right now. Alright, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but you know where I'm coming from. Getting into the second half though, and it started off with another good chance in the 51st minute for Pedro, this time from just inside the box when he picked up a loose ball after a poor clearance of a Rudiger cross, but Pedro did put his effort slightly over the bar, probably should have done slightly better there. Then a great volleyed effort by Alonso in the 56th minute after cross by Zappacosta. He connected with the ball perfectly. His shot actually took a slight deflection which put it close to the keeper, made it easier to save. Still a very good save, but a great effort by Alonso nonetheless. In the 58th minute, Hazard was played through by Batshuayi, would have been 1-on-1 with the keeper, but was called back for offside when he was basically still in our own half, or on the halfway line, and there is obviously no offside there. And even still, one Newcastle defender had half of his body basically in their own half, so that decision was just plainly wrong, and Hazard arguably would have scored. And tactically, Pedro did this thing he does occasionally, or that he, is told by Conte occasionally. Rather than sticking to his right number 10 or right wing position, he kind of drops deeper into midfield, making it a 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2 at times. Best example for that was from where he played that pass to Hazard before Michy Batshuayi made it 1-0. So he does that a lot. Not at all times, of course, but occasionally, in most games, he drops deeper to make it 3 midfield. And Pedro does really well there. His tackling is quite good. When we scored the second, he won the ball back in midfield. His passing is very decent as well. So I think people need to lay off of Pedro a little bit. I think that is also part of the reason why he hasn't scored as many as he did last season, for example, because he drops deeper in some games. Then in the 71st minute, 3-0, another Alonso free kick screamer. From a good 25 yards out, put it over the ball and in, and almost unstoppable for the keeper. The guy's an absolute god of free kicks. If only he took that, free kick that we had in the last few minutes against Arsenal slightly better and put that in. But still, incredible free kick, and obviously 3-0 was basically putting the game to bed. In the 73rd, Ross Barkley came on for Eden Hazard. Then in the 77th, Ethan Ampadu came on for N'Golo Kante. And then in the 79th minute, an unbelievable pass by Ampadu from our own half, right into the path of Pedro, who took it down extremely well with his chest, but then couldn't get the ball past the keeper with his effort. In the 81st minute, another good effort by Chelsea, this time by Zappacosta after cutting in on his left, having a go from outside the box, but the keeper tipped it over the bar. And then still in the 81st minute, 17-year-old Callum Hudson-Odoi came on for Pedro to make his Chelsea debut. In the 88th minute then, Batshuayi almost with his third, thrown by Alonso to the Belgian striker actually, who went past the defender with a great piece of skill, right by the byline, but he couldn't smash the ball in between the keeper's legs, who was covering the near post. Obviously the keeper just blocked it with his leg, just about couldn't get it in there. Very good play there by Batshuayi. And then in the 91st, another very good chance for Batshuayi to get his hat-trick after a good play with Barkley. Michy shielded the ball well when Barkley passed it to him, turned the defender, then maybe took a slight bit too long to take the shot, but still forced a very good save by the keeper. And that was then full time at 3-0. The second half, even though we only scored 1 compared to 2-2 in the first half, was still better than the first half, I thought. Kept Newcastle from really creating anything, had full control of the game. The only thing you could say in the second half, we weren't as clinical anymore. But while playing better overall, I thought we were still a little bit slow in attacking movement at times. The performance was alright overall. I didn't like the first 30 minutes in particular. If we would have played against a better team, we probably wouldn't have gone into half-time with a 2-0 lead. But the result is obviously very good and allowed us and Conte to sub on Ampadu and Hudson-Odoi towards the end of the game, which we always want to see. We always want to see those youngsters come on. Like I said earlier, like I said in the preview yesterday, I would have wanted Ampadu, Musonda, Dijon Sterling, who didn't even make the bench surprisingly. I would have had them start even, but at least they came on, especially Ampadu and Hudson-Odoi, who gave his debut, and I was very happy with that. And before finishing this off, I do want to pick out a few players individually, one of those being Michy Batshuayi. He got his 2 goals, wasn't involved much in the first half, except the 2 goals, but in the second half he was. Showed a good touch, decent enough link-up play, showed strength, and just the will to score more. He just looked like a completely different player in the second half, with the confidence of having scored 2 in the first half already. He's now on 10 goals in all competitions, just 2 less than Alvaro Morata. While Michy arguably faced and scored against easier oppositions in Nottingham Forest, a second string Everton side, and Norwich as well for example, he still played a lot less games than Morata has. So although his gameplay might not be that good, he does get us goals. And, you know, I have to say, fair play to him. He did well and obviously was a big reason why we won today. And Caballero as well. A few very good saves at the end of the first half especially. And I said it before, I say it again. A very, very good backup keeper to have. And I'm very, very happy with him. He would be a starting keeper for most Premier League sides. So, you know, we really did a really good job there. Obviously, getting him on a free, selling Asmir Begovic for like 10 million or whatever it was. So we did really well there. I feel a lot more comfortable with Caballero as a backup keeper than Begovic, to be honest. So, you know, I'm very happy with that. Talking about the subs quickly, and they did alright when they came on, especially on Palu. I talked about that incredible pass to Pedro. Barkley still needs some time to get fully match fit. You can see that he did, you know, look less rusty than he did against Arsenal, arguably, but still you can see that he's not fully there yet. But he will get there, I think, and I'm very confident in that. And Hudson-Odoi looked very, very sharp when he came on. Charlie Musonda not coming on at all, even though he did make the bench, suggests to me that he will go out and loan in the next few days. But we'll obviously have to wait and see if that actually happens. Everyone else was about average, I would say. Hazard had a few moments of brilliance, so did Pedro, and obviously that free kick by Alonso. But overall, they were still average, I would say. But that's really it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Who was your man of the match? Who were you impressed by? Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to check out my social media with TheSlough1507 on both Instagram and Twitter. As you can see over here, like I said, Lough1507. I'd massively appreciate it if you could follow me there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. Just click that button up there and you can subscribe. We would massively appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.